Hello, welcome to the Peaceful Woodturner. I have here a piece of somebody's holiday tree, somebody's Christmas tree. I don't know exactly what kind of evergreen it was. You know, the popular ones are certain kinds of firs and spruces and things like that. So, you know, everybody thinks when it's pine trees, it's something in that family. As you can see, they were very good and cut off the end and drilled a hole so that it could get water up into it. And as you know, if you've ever had a Christmas tree, that doesn't keep them from drying out, and they dry out pretty quick. So what I did last year around Christmas time is I went around after people had gotten rid of their trees, so I guess really the beginning of this year, and I just started collecting up the biggest pieces I could find. And my idea is simply to use old Christmas trees to make new Christmas decorations, things like snowmen and little Christmas trees and even ornaments. I've got another piece of one right here. This is a smaller piece, obviously. I painted the ends just to help them dry out a little more slowly. This has gone from being, you know, kind of a hardy, hefty piece of wood down to being almost light as air. It feels like just a great big marshmallow. And I painted the end on this one, obviously. Also, it looks like it's got a crack, but I think that's just in the bark, just from looking at the ends. I'm going to have to be careful, though, and just double check that. And I'm just going to take this and cut it down into some more manageable sizes. And I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting. I want to try to make a snowman, I want to try to make a Christmas tree, and I want to see what I can do about making a nice ornament out of this. So we'll see how it works out. I'm going to start breaking it down, getting all these pieces off of it, and then we'll get it on the lathe. So I moved to a more stable work surface, i.e. the floor, and got all of these bits and pieces off. So things are going to be a little bit safer now. Next thing to do is to actually cut this into some workable pieces, trim off some of the excess, and then I can be able to start turning it to round and actually working on it. So I cut these down with my Sawzall. It's pretty much the safest tool to use for it. Chainsaw would work well too. All I'm going to do now is just trim off some of these excess little bits, and I'm going to get these on the lathe. I think we're going to have probably an ornament and a snowman and a tree. So the biggest piece is here in the lathe now. I've taken off a bunch of bark and other loose bits and stuff. I've spun it up a few times just to see how the balance is, and it's not bad. I'm going to start by just trying to take it down to something closer to round, take off some of these last little bits and pieces that are sticking up here. I am a little worried. There's some discoloration and stuff. It looked like it might be kind of deeper cracks than I was initially thinking, but we'll have to see as we go into it. So I'm starting off at a relatively low speed. I'm going to be going about 680 RPM. So I'm not sure how this piece is going to end up working out. As you saw, I measured with my caliper, and the hole actually goes very deep. I was really surprised how deep it went. So whoever drilled that was pretty aggressive, which is a good thing for them, but a bad thing for me. So I've got that problem going on. I have this in the chuck now. I have it reversed around from the way it was before. So the end with the hole is down here. And so this whole section here, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to end up getting out of it. The other thing is there are a couple of small cracks. They don't go very deep, but they could become a problem. So I'm going to have to be very careful with this piece. And I'm just going to make sure I'm wearing all my protection, and I'm just going to go carefully, and we'll see what I get. I'm still hoping to get the ornament out of it. I'm going to have kind of a larger ball type section here, a little bit of a finial up at the top, and a finial down here. If it doesn't work out and this piece doesn't end up holding up, I should still probably be able to get that round section here, and I can turn this top finial into more of a bottom finial and just put a little eye at the top. We'll see how it works out. It may just be trash. Right there, that's the gap. That's coming up pretty far. I know it's going to come up into here too. It's not in a good spot. So I'm going to finish this down, part it off after I get some more of this done down here. And this is going to be my finished piece up here. This stuff is going to go away. I was afraid of that, but I was hoping. So not exactly what I wanted. I didn't have as much length as I wanted, as you know. I stopped myself right where it was going to actually break apart and be a real big problem. But it's got some nice character to it. I like the little bits of branches that are coming through, a little bit of bark inclusion there. The cracks didn't end up being as big of a problem as I was afraid they might be. It's got a real nice swirl to the grain up here on the top. So now it's just a matter of putting an eye in it, and once I get the eye in there, I can hang it up and put a few coats of a nice finish on it, and that'll be that. Thank you for joining me on the Peaceful Woodturner.